Hello guys, welcome to yet another exciting, interesting and educative video here on Efom TV. My name is Efom Hine. I want to thank you guys for sticking to our channel, watching our videos, giving us your reviews and your comments. We appreciate each and every one of you. Today we are at Ashoman. Ashoman is in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Closer to Kwabenya and Medina. And here we are about to set up a 20,000 capacity tarpaulin catfish farm. And as you can see, today is the day of setup, and we've come with all the materials, all the fabricated metals, all the tarpaulin materials that we are going to need to do this job. You can see this site is a residential area, and when we came here at first, this whole site where there's concrete was all mud. So we recommended to the owner to do concrete floor so that the tarpaulin ponds will be able to sit very well and prevent it from breaking and all that. So the owner has also done a great job by heeding to our advice, and as you can see, the job has been nicely done. Today is your first time on this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, share our video, and then leave us a comment. So as you can see, I'm here with my staff, and we are starting with the cutting of the tarpaulin ponds. When you bring the tarpaulin ponds that have been welded, there are places that have been provided for you to cut to allow for the metal pipes to hold the pond into place, and that is what we do first by cutting those outlets for metal pipes to be able to be inserted in the tarpaulin to hold it into place. So when we come on site like this, I like to lead the team into, at least start the first sample of the tarpaulin ponds, and then my guys normally take over and do the rest of the job. So this tarpaulin is actually one of the biggest tarpaulin ponds that we do. This is the 20 by 15 tarpaulin pond. It's a big one, and so it has different cut sizes from the 15 by 10 tarpaulin ponds that we do. And this is a 2,000 capacity tarpaulin tank. The 20 by 15 feet is a 2,000 capacity tarpaulin tank, and that is the biggest tank we do as far as tarpaulin tanks are concerned. Of course, if it were to be a concrete pond, you can do as big as any capacity that you want to do, but when it comes to tarpaulin tanks, the biggest size that we do is the 2,000 capacity tarpaulin pond. And we do that because you want to have the structural integrity of the pond in place, because the pipes, metal pipes, are holding it in place. So if you do any bigger size than that, the pipes might not be able to hold it as firmly and strongly as they should be able to. So when you order for a capacity, whatever the size of the fish farm that you want to do, you cannot do all ponds big sizes, and sometimes we like to blend the big sizes and the smaller sizes for you to get the best of both ponds, because the smaller sizes help with the management of the fish farm. So if all your ponds are big, sometimes it leads to some management challenges in terms of water management, in terms of when you have to sort smaller sizes into a small place. You don't have any small place than to sort them into big ponds, which brings up some challenges as to even if you put a few fingerlings or a few fish in any big pond, you still have to put in enough water for them to be safe in there. And that's why we like to blend the smaller sizes and the bigger sizes. So for a 20,000 capacity farm like this, we did 7 of the 2,000 capacity ponds, so 7 of them making 1,400 capacity, and then 6 of the 1,000 capacity ponds, which makes it another 6,000. So in all, you have your 20,000 capacity set, and we believe that this combination is the best that you can do for a 20,000 capacity pond. So you have big ponds enough, and you have enough smaller ponds to help you to nurse the ponds. So the smaller ponds in this case are going to be used as the nursery ponds before we sort them into the bigger ponds that we have there. But of course, when you come on site like this, because of the plumbing works, you can't set up only the big ponds and leave the smaller ponds for a later date. So we like to set it all up at once, so that we do the plumbing job once and for all. And then the only disadvantage is that the big ones will collect dust for the time that is going to stay there before you sort the fish after a couple of weeks into them. But that's no problem. We can always clean the pond as and when you want to use it. So this is an update I wanted to share about how tarpaulin ponds are doing and how people continue to choose tarpaulin ponds. I mean, you can also do concrete ponds, but comparatively, as you can see, in a residential area like this, and this land, the owner, anytime he wants to use it for any other purpose, it's available for him to use. We can just dismantle all the tarpaulin ponds and go and set it up at another place for him to have his space to do any kind of project that he wants to do. And that is the biggest advantage of the tarpaulin ponds, the ease of relocation. And then when you're in a residential area, the opportunity it gives you to be able to go back and do any project on the space that you set it up on. Now when you do a concrete pond too, one downside is that you can't move it to any other location. And so normally we advise concrete ponds on farms where you know that this is a farm and we are going to have allocated this area for fish farming. So even if you do concrete ponds, there are no problem with it. And as you can see, we've opened the tarpaulin, and like I said, this is a 20 by 15. It's a big one, and we are going to start to put in the metal pipes so you can see how it will all shape up. And voila, you can see we are done with the setup. We've raised all the tarpaulin ponds into position. What is left here is to arrange them into how we want them to be. We are going to arrange all the smaller ponds, the 10 by 15 ponds on one side, and then all the 20 by 15 ponds on the other side. And you can see we have been able to erect the 20,000 capacity tarpaulin ponds all in a day. And that is one good side of the tarpaulin ponds, to the ease of installation. So we did this all in one day. And you can see for the 20 by 15 ponds, we construct bars, 2 bars to cross the ponds to make them more steady in place and more stronger. So after setup, this is a few days after setup, they've been water put in the tarpaulin ponds. We've done the plumbing works, and you can see this is a very beautiful farm. And at this point, we have stocked the fingerlings and we've covered the tarpaulin ponds with net. And this is how it's supposed to be on farms when you use the tarpaulin ponds to do the setup. Very neat, very fast installation, and that is what we want for all our clients. And after this, the owner asked us to fence the whole area. So you can see we fenced the whole setup to make it more secure so that nobody can just intrude on the space. And so this is how we do our 20,000 capacity ponds, and I hope you guys have learned a thing or two from this setup. Hope to see you again another time on one of our most educative and informative videos. Bye bye.